About it, Chief.
Oh.
About it, Chief.
Hello Internet and welcome to Meme Theory, where
Behind the meme has become an epidemic.
Okay, I'm just gonna cut right to the chase here. Dear Behind the Meme,
Enough is enough!
I have
Had it with these motherfucking normies talking about my motherfucking memes.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Content
Cuck.
Emp Dubs here, and this is the definitive Behind the Meme rant video. Who is Behind the Meme? Well, he's a YouTube channel that's become fairly popular over the last few months. A lot of people like him, but a lot of people don't, and I'm part of the ones who don't. And I don't really think he or his normie fans understand why.
I don't understand why I'm still getting hate.
So allow me, a guy who actually knows a thing or two about meme culture, to explain to you guys exactly how Behind the Meme is fucking up the entirety of the memescape as we know it. First, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of background information. So in this video, you're going to hear me use the term normie a lot. So allow me to explain my definition of this term through this little analogy. Basically, in the age of modern mass media, I'm talking about 1980s onwards, you can divide media consumers into two main groups, the normies and the outsiders. The normies are, and have always been, the majority, the mainstream, the hump of the bell curve. If you're a TV or film or music producer, the normies are generally where the money is. Therefore, the vast majority of content seen in mass media is dictated by and targeted towards normies. Or at least that's how it was before the age of the internet. You see, 65 million years ago, the dinosaurs reigned supreme. Then a big ol' asteroid hit the planet and killed the dinosaurs. And left to inhabit the scorched earth were these small, crafty, quirky animals called mammals. But left to develop on their own with a few million years of evolution, and I'd say us mammals are doing pretty good for ourselves. A lot better than those dinosaurs ever were.
I've got twice the
You see, the normies are the dinosaurs of consumer society. The outsiders are the mammals. And the birth of the World Wide Web was the asteroid. The outsiders include anyone who rejects mainstream media in favor of content which matches their more niche and unconventional tastes. In the 80s, the outsiders were mocked and outcast by the normies, only able to seek safety in the odd comic book store or sci-fi convention. But then, in the 90s, this thing called the internet happened.
Imagine a world where every word ever written, every picture ever painted, and every film ever shot could be viewed instantly in your home via an information superhighway.
So, the normies see this and they're like, hey, this isn't MTV, Jurassic Park, or Pokemon. Get that shit out of my face. But for the outsiders, the internet was paradise. Here you had an open, unregulated global platform on which you could post and search for whatever odd stuff you wanted, and there were no normies around to ostracize you for it. And not only that, but now you could connect with people from around the world, people you didn't even know existed, who had the same weird and bizarre tastes as you. Because on the internet, anything goes. It's like the Wild West. Or in this case, the Wild Web. So, for a little bit, normies and outsiders could both enjoy their own media in peace. The outsiders had the Wild Web, and the normies had the mainstream metropolis. And for a time, they existed, balanced. Two sides of a coin, in harmony. Then everything changed when the normies attacked. It's ironic, actually, how it's typically the normies that make fun of the outsiders for liking the media that we do, calling us weird and nerdy, when all along the outsiders have always had superior media. There was a time when reading comic books was considered super nerdy, and now comic book characters make up 90% of the blockbusters in cinemas. There was a time when playing video games meant you were a virgin living in your parents' basement, and now people are making millions of dollars in front of millions of fans playing video games for a living. You see, the critical factor that sets outsiders apart from normies is that outsiders think outside the box. They're creative, contemplative, analytical. They aren't satisfied with anything less than original, ingenious content. This forces us to constantly innovate the media we consume and create. Outsiders like to go out and explore their media. Normies tend to want everything spoon-fed to them in a comfortable and unchallenging way. They love the same old patterns and formulas. If something works, why change it?
Man, fall down. Funny.
This causes normie media to become incredibly inert and slow to change. The cycle usually repeats itself until whatever media at hand becomes so insufferably derivative and stale that even the normies get sick of it.
Faggot shit.
And as time goes on, the mainstream metropolis becomes more crowded and congested with tired trends and cringy cliches. And the more this goes on, the more the normies want to get out. And that's when they notice the fertile open plains of the wild web. So much like video games and comic books, internet memes were once an outsider-exclusive media. They were a kind of way for people from all these sort of obscure and unconventional communities to communicate with one another. An outsider's language, if you will. Originally, memes were just a way for members of online communities and fandoms to identify each other. They weren't really meant to be widely understood. Many early internet memes were just taken directly out of context from their original media. So in order to understand the meme, you had to understand the media from which it came. There was a time when, if you came across
Leroy Dragons!
you either didn't understand the context and went on with your day, or you recognized that it was a World of Warcraft reference and you found it funny.
This role-playing game, out in 2004, returns to the world of Azeroth, where heroes like Leroy Jenkins do battle. And that would be the World of Warcraft.
You established an immediate connection to whoever posted it without having to exchange a single line of direct communication. Then, somewhere along the way, the idea of an internet meme became a lot more meta. Memes stopped being attached to media, and rather they started becoming media in their own right. People started sharing memes because they were memes, rather than as a method for communicating within a fandom. This was the beginning of meme culture on the internet. So, at this point, memes were still an outsider's media source. But since they were now their own media source, lots of people felt obligated to catalog and document them. This purpose was fulfilled through sites like Know Your Meme and Urban Dictionary, but we'll be focusing specifically on Know Your Meme for this video. Now, I have some pretty mixed opinions about Know Your Meme. On one hand, it's a decent resource for researching the origins and history behind certain memes. However, the articles on there can widely vary in quality, with many being outdated and missing critical information. Pages can also be pretty slow to update for new meme development, so use the site at your own risk to research memes. In my view, Know Your Meme is a good source for basic information on meme origins, but I wouldn't rely on it too much for perspective and overall understanding, which, unfortunately, a lot of people do. But I can't really blame them that much. Know Your Meme is the only real site where all the information about memes is located in one location. The site can be classified as a secondary source for meme information. They don't make the memes, they only write about them. Much like historical secondary sources, Know Your Meme is easier to access at the cost of information quality. It's not that much of a problem until you add an additional layer of separation between the viewer and the meme. That's where Behind the Meme comes in.
Now that we've covered all the basics of your training, it's time for the moment you've been waiting for!
So the premise of this YouTube channel is to host an educational series about memes. Okay, not a completely original idea, but okay. 2016 was a big year for memes, and there was definitely a market for a series discussing and analyzing memes. Which is why Anthony Fantano started the Meme Review. Oh wait, we're talking about Behind the Meme. Well, I'm sure there's room for a second meme discussion series on YouTube, but instead of being knowledgeable, or interesting, or well edited, or respectful of meme culture like Anthony Fantano, Behind the Meme decided to take the route of presenting his content in the most generic and bland way possible. Eye-catching thumbnails,
Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me!
stock photos and music, simple and slow editing, the patronizing YouTuber voice, and every video feels like an identical template with an interchangeable topic. He decides to employ all of these techniques because Behind the Meme is interested in targeting normies. Fucking normal! And since normies like unchallenging, basic, and repetitive content, that's what Behind the Meme supplies. Because what I see while looking at Behind the Memes content in a vacuum is not a good YouTuber, not a bad YouTuber, but a mediocre YouTuber. Like the kind of kid who sits in class and does just enough to get a C-. He knows that if he applied himself, he could probably get a solid B, or maybe even an A-. But no, he would just rather not spend the extra effort or passion. Because hey, a C- is a passing grade after all. C is average, the middle of the bell curve, which, not so coincidentally, is where his fan base lies. So let's actually look at one of his videos and see just how mediocre Behind the Meme is at actually doing his channel's self-professed purpose and educating people about memes. We're gonna watch the one about YouTube poops. Why? Because
Boy, I've been making fucking YouTube poops for 7 years. I know my fucking shit, okay?
let's see how much Behind the Meme knows. Now, I'll admit, when I first saw this video in my feed, I actually got pretty excited. This guy's got a pretty big fan base, so it'll be great to expose them to YouTube poops. But then I actually watched the video and my enthusiasm went on a downward spiral.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to Behind the Meme.
So the video starts off with 30 seconds of intro processions that are copy and pasted between every video.
Here we go. YouTube poop, YouTube poop, YouTube poop.
Then another minute of beating around the bush with corny jokes without actually explaining anything. And then finally, 1 minute and 30 seconds in, we get Behind the Meme's definition of YouTube poop.
So let's have a look at a couple definitions.
Which he literally reads verbatim off of Know Your Meme and Wikipedia. Come on, dude, at least be discreet about your complete lack of knowledge or effort for researching this topic. So for the next minute or so, he just summarizes the Know Your Meme page on YouTube poops, which by the way is extremely outdated. And during this whole time, he's just showing basic reaction GIFs and stock images, when he could be showing, I don't know, actual YouTube poops? He literally said like a minute earlier that YouTube poops were super duper hard to explain.
Trying to say is defining YouTube poop is kinda possible, but at the same time impossible.
So why not show some instead of just explaining them? But wait, showing YouTube poops would put you at a tiny risk of getting copyright claimed. Can't have that happen. So I guess you might as well give your fans as little visual information as possible about this incredibly complex topic which you're describing on your educational YouTube channel. So then he gets to the part where he goes over poopisms.
Some of the defining poopisms that the videos use are ear rape, which is the process of making the audio loud to the point of distortion.
Wow, what an ear rape you pulled off.
Crank that shit up, you fucking pussy!
Oh wait, you don't want to hurt the ears of your oh so fragile normie fan base. If you used actual ear rape, people might unsubscribe. Oh, by the way, that reminds me.
Can you unsubscribe?
So then he mentions reversing and stutter loops, techniques which have literally been around since World War II. Seriously, everyone knows this shit already. How about mentioning some more nuanced techniques like sentence mixing?
And also sentence shifting.
Sentence shifting.
You have got to be f***ing kidding me.
So he continues reading off of Know Your Meme until, finally, he shows a YouTube poop. Whoa! And it's hot on our tail. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't have anything against this YouTube poop. It's a really important part of YouTube poop history, but imagine the people in Behind the Meme's audience who have never seen a YouTube poop before in their entire lives. And this is the first YouTube poop they see, from which they have to conceptualize what all other poops are like. It's the equivalent of taking someone who has no idea what an automobile is, and in order to demonstrate an example of one, you show them the 1886 Mercedes-Benz patent motor wagon.
The fuck is it?
Sure, it's technically an automobile, and it's really important to the history of automobiles, but to a person who knows nothing about automobiles, it looks awkward and stupid, and makes them question why anyone likes automobiles at all. That's the type of impression Behind the Meme is giving by literally only showing one poop as an example and nothing else. And then he talks for a bit about YTPMVs and says they're
The same concept as the regular poop edits, but only with the addition of music.
which is a gross overgeneralization. Then he says YTPs are important because they're the grandfather of memes,
The YouTube poop videos are kinda like the grandfather of today's memes.
which is also inaccurate in pretty much every aspect and demonstrates a complete lack of knowledge about the true depth of internet meme history. And that's the end of the video. 6.5 minutes. 4 minutes of which were actually spent discussing YouTube poop. And through all of it, he didn't actually explain anything. If anything, he actually made people more ignorant to what YTP actually is. All he did was read some definitions and define some terms off of an outdated web page. There's pretty much no analysis whatsoever. He mentions nothing about different styles and methodologies, how YouTube poops are entertaining, the incredible evolution of the medium over the past decade.
You get nothing! You lose! Good day, sir!
What is wrong with this picture?
Kill everyone!
Oh, you stupid son of a...
And so the Democrats are trapped right now in a downward spiral of just being negative and hostile. Downward spiral, downward spiral, downward spiral. The Democrats are in a downward spiral.
What the fuck?
Funding for meme theory is provided by
Fucking no one!
Well, I guess now's the time to open up a Patreon and horror the shit out of my fans.
Get off the stage!
So let's talk about Anthony Fantano for a little bit. I mentioned him before in this video. He's the creator of The Meme Review on his channel That Is The Plan, along with his more popular music review channel, The Needle Drop. Now, I consider Anthony Fantano to be a really underrated and underappreciated YouTuber in the grand scheme of things. What I see when I look at his content is a really intelligent and level-headed guy who churns out consistently good content and has been doing so for several years. He strikes me as a very unique YouTube reviewer in both his editing style and commentary. Most media reviewers on YouTube get popular by being scathingly negative and bitter towards what they're reviewing, because YouTube audiences generally love to hate on stuff. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna predict that this video is gonna get a shitload of views because I'm being critical of another YouTuber. But Anthony Fantano has taken the approach of being much more mellow and reasonable in his views. Honestly, it's refreshing to see this calmer attitude amidst the oversaturated "I'm pissed off" gimmick of YouTube reviewers. He also gives the impression of being genuine and down to earth. You can tell he actually cares about his content and believes what he's saying in his videos. It's important to note that last year, when it was really trendy to shit on Leafy after iDubbbz made the Leafy content cop, Anthony Fantano made a video criticizing both iDubbbz and Leafy rather than cashing in on the Leafy hate train. This incident really cemented in my mind that Anthony Fantano values speaking honestly more than YouTube success, which is a really admirable trait. But to be honest, the best aspect of Anthony Fantano's reviews is that he knows his shit. Whether it's a music or meme review, you get a strong impression that Anthony Fantano knows what the fuck he's talking about. And that's the primary reason why me and a lot of other people respect him so much. So when he notices this guy called Behind the Meme, who doesn't actually know jack shit about memes, make a series very similar to his, and people are actually listening to him and watching his content, he gets upset. So Anthony Fantano decides to release the equivalent of a diss track.
Goddamn, I'm glad y'all set it off. Used to be hard, now you just went soft.
I like memes, you guys. Please accept me. This is the part of the video where I regurgitate information I found on Know Your Meme, but you're so stupid, you think I researched it. And please make sure you subscribe so you can watch my next video, because Lord knows nobody is watching my videos on my other YouTube channel. This is really my last-ditch effort at YouTube relevance, guys, so please. God, please.
And I'll admit, he fucking hammers behind the meme here. It's more savage than fucking Randy.
What?
Viewer discretion is advised.
How you gonna like it when you get some of your own medicine from Mama Memes? What? Oh, dude. I understand the orange cap.
What the fuck?
You know what? I went to school with a lot of people like that. Even where I went to school, they had geeks. That looks like a geek.
You want to explain to me what you're doing here?
All kidding aside, you're a good guy. You have some funny stuff. Stop critiquing people. Do what you're good at. Stop critiquing people. Do what you're good at. Stop critiquing people.
Spiral.
Finally realized one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
The only thing you're good at is being a little bitch! Stop being a little bitch!
No! With this motherfucker!
Be gone!
You see, Anthony Fantano had put Behind the Meme in a lose-lose situation, but by far the most favorable route that Behind the Meme could have taken was to ignore the parody video and disassociate himself from Anthony Fantano as much as possible. But, as you might have guessed, Behind the Meme chose the worst possible outcome by directly responding through a video upload. Now, this was a stupidly bad mistake by Behind the Meme, and here's why. First of all, he immediately made an enemy out of Anthony Fantano's fans, and the fans of the meme review are generally outsiders, the people you need to like you if you want to be respected as a meme channel on YouTube. By choosing to respond to Anthony Fantano, Behind the Meme automatically and permanently established himself as a pro-normie and anti-outsider channel. Additionally, in doing this, Behind the Meme branded himself as a competitor and rival to Anthony Fantano rather than an ally, and he basically entered a battle which he cannot win. Behind the Meme is less clever, less original, and knows less about memes than Anthony Fantano, so he can't possibly expect to come out of this on top. And when I say come out on top, I'm not talking about subscribers, I'm talking about being respected. Leafy has a lot of subscribers and he's generally maligned by pretty much everyone. I've said this lots of times before, but sub count really doesn't matter on YouTube. And by disputing Anthony Fantano, Behind the Meme set himself up to be hated.
That's a stupid decision. That can only be made by a stupid idiot.
You don't mess up!
But wait, there's more!
Uh-oh. Looks like the message didn't quite get through.
So, out of everything we've covered already, this is the thing that really pissed me off the most. So this time, instead of responding to a YouTuber, Behind the Meme literally responds to a 4chan post. Like, how petty can you possibly fucking be? Do you honestly have to respond to every ounce of criticism you receive on the internet? Are you that fucking insecure?
Zinzi is an attempt to get me to make a video on a meme that makes no sense and really doesn't exist, so I look like a fool and lose credibility.
Hey, Behind the Meme, here's a little bit of information that you may have missed because you weren't able to read it off of Know Your Meme. The people of 4chan hate and make fun of everybody, especially normies like you. Did you seriously expect them to welcome your bastardization of memes with open arms? Are you really that dense? Yes, there are people who will dislike you on the internet. It's an inevitability. Being upset at 4chan for being mean to you is like being mad at a bear for shitting in the woods. And the worst part is that everyone in the comments are supporting him. Way to go, Behind the Meme, you really showed them. Way to criticize a site that literally makes fun of itself. Is everybody just completely oblivious to how fundamentally flawed the message of this video is? He complains about 4chan being elitist when it comes to memes.
You see, some people on the internet like to act like elitists when it comes to memes.
Well, of course they are. 4chan ain't good for much, but they churn out some fucking good memes. The people of 4chan live and breathe memetics. Look at the way they speak, the pictures they post. No other site on the internet is as adept at utilizing memetics as 4chan. So of course they're fucking elitist about memes. Just like how Michael Jordan is elitist about basketball. When you're that good at something, you deserve to be arrogant. And then you're upset that they're complaining about you, someone who knows nothing about memes, exposing the memes that they created to an audience of normies whom they despise. And here we arrive at the main point of this video. The existence and continuation of Behind the Memes channel is dismantling and destroying the culture of memes, which has been delicately constructed over the course of 2 decades. He's acting like such a hero, such a saint. Oh, I'm educating those poor unfortunate normies who can't learn about memes for themselves, also that they don't have to feel left out.
Subscribe to Behind the Meme and never feel left out again.
I'm the good guy here. Okay there, Chief, hold the fuck up for a second. You're not devoting your time and effort to teach impoverished school children in Africa. You're talking about memes on the internet. You're not exactly humanitarian of the year here. These poor, unfortunate people you claim to be helping have access to the internet too. You do realize that. They can become an expert in any meme they want, but the truth is, they're all lazy, and they prefer to be spoon-fed with unchallenging and generic content like the normies they are.
And others shouldn't feel dumb when they see a new meme and don't exactly get the joke.
Wrong. You see, back in the day, only the most ambitious meme seekers could actually take the patience and time to learn about memes and meme culture on their own. This system allowed the meme economy to be sustainable, because the only people who had access to memes were those who were willing to actually go out and investigate them on their own. Memes were consumed more slowly, and they lasted longer. Now, thanks to Behind the Meme, everyone can have a superficial understanding of memes and overuse them as much as they want. Isn't that great? Wait, it's not. Because when everyone knows about a meme, it becomes so diluted that no one wants to use the meme anymore and it dies. You're basically inviting all these normie children to piss in our meme pool. You force everyone else to jump to cleaner water while you make your area so insufferably full of piss that eventually no one, not even normies, want to swim in them. And this just keeps happening, faster and faster. The meme economy isn't sustainable anymore, and soon we're gonna run out of clean water. You have any idea how much faster memes die nowadays? For someone who claims to love memes so much, you really don't seem to care. As a matter of fact, you don't even seem to be aware of what you're doing. I like how you tell 4chan to look at the bigger picture.
But if they would take a step back and look at the big picture of things, they would see that I'm just a teacher.
As if you understand memes better than they do.
But guys, I'm totally part of your community and I have been for years.
The thing is, all those who hate on my channel should be happy it's me. I have been a part of your communities and forums for years. I am one of you.
Wrong! And this is the worst part of it all, Behind the Meme, because you claim to be just like us, the outsiders. But you're not like us. You are a normie, just like your fan base. So stop lying to us and lying to yourself. Anthony Fantano is an outsider. The people of 4chan are outsiders. You, Behind the Meme, are a normie, and it doesn't matter how much you pretend to be such a meme expert. You make it apparent that you're a normie through your bland, unchallenging, and generic videos. You try to be like Anthony Fantano, but end up being like Watch Mojo, because you lack the creativity and wit to differentiate yourself from the most ordinary, dime a dozen YouTube content clones. You are not distinct. Anyone could replace you, and half of your fans wouldn't even notice or care. And if that wasn't enough, you want everyone to be just like you. And you simply cannot fathom a world where people disagree with your flawed concept of memes, so you seek to belittle, condescend, and patronize them. And even worse is that you use this fake persona to give yourself a scrap of legitimacy towards educating people about memes when you don't know anything about them. And you end up feeding them superficial and inaccurate information, leading to even more people like you who think they know memes, but actually don't know jack shit. But hey, that's the internet for you. And on the internet, ignorance is king. So I just want to take these last few minutes to tie up some loose ends. First of all, I want to say that I do not hate Behind the Meme. I just hate this idea that what he's doing is perfectly okay and that we have some sort of obligation to make sure that no normie gets left behind. No, he has to understand that there are negative consequences to what he's doing. However, I do not view him as someone with malicious intent. Rather, I view him as someone who misunderstands his role in the memescape. I'm not opposed either to the idea of normies learning about memes. I just think you have to be careful about it and actually do a good job of explaining the memes and their context. I think it's better to try to bring normies up to our level rather than sinking to theirs. The Meme Review does a good job of this, and I would highly recommend people watch that instead of Behind the Meme. But the fact of the matter is that Behind the Meme has a wider appeal than the Meme Review ever could, simply because of the nature of normies. All I know is that you never see the Meme Review on the YouTube trending tab. It's frustrating how YouTube is systematically favoring an inferior meme series, but it's what normies want to see, and it's what gets views. And that's the bottom line on YouTube, so there's nothing we can really do about it. I understand that he's a normie trying to dictate an outsider culture, but I also understand that the memescape is constantly evolving and it's impossible to fight it. Perhaps what is happening now is just part of the natural progression of memes, but we can't really tell for sure either way. Finally, I understand that this video is going to get me hated by a lot of people, and that's a consequence I'm willing to accept. My goal with this video is not to start YouTube drama nor expose a YouTuber. My goal with this video is to explain a perspective which is unclear and overlooked by many people. I feel like there are a lot of misconceptions about memes out there, and I want to continue this series to make as much sense of it as I can. Because if there's one thing I learned while making this video, is that people in general really don't know much about memes. The memescape today is incredibly deep and complex, and it changes every day. There are so many components that have yet to be explored, and I think all of us could try to understand it better, including me. But hey, that's why it's just a theory! A meme theory! Thanks for unsubscribing.
The only thing that's for sure about
Behind the Meme
is sentence shifting.
you don't